How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on a new week and a batch of new PlayStation 4 and 5 game releases. Honestly, a little bit of a quieter week this week. September is definitely a big month for game releases. A week like this has a bit of stuff. One of the titles is interesting because it's playable right now with the early access gimmick. You guys know what that's about. We have a major free update as well that I want to go over, and a couple of lower key titles that we'll get into in a little bit. But first of all, Baldurs Gate 3 will be dropping on September the 6th. This is by far the biggest game release of the week. However, this game is also playable right now. As you are watching this video, you can play Baldurs Gate 3 on the PlayStation 5 if you buy the Digital Deluxe Edition. The Digital Deluxe Edition is $79.99. The base game is $69.99, so the price you pay for Baldurs Gate 3 is going to be well worth it in terms of how much sheer content that you are going to get. This is a game, I've talked about it before, I played it on PC, I played a decent bit of it, not to completion or anything like that, but the game is just not my cup of tea. However, with a game like Baldurs Gate 3, I really have to strip away my subjective opinion, because you look at the Metacritic score, and there's a lot of talk on Metacritic scores these days after Starfield, very successful, 87 or 89, mind you, got scored. It seems like people are crazy about these Metacritic scores these days. Baldurs Gate 3 did very well. I think it has a 96, but even more so than the Metacritic score, how about the actual people playing this game? The game has 250,000 Steam user reviews with an overwhelmingly positive reception, 95% positive. Even if the game isn't for me, even if I find it a little bit slow-paced, the reality is this is a game with a gargantuan amount of depth to it. So many customization options, so many things to do, and so much replayability. Given that games these days, you want to get the most mileage for your dollar. At least I think a lot of you guys do, given the $70 price tag. Baldurs Gate 3 offers a game that is well worth that $70 for the sheer level of content. I just implore you guys, know what you're getting yourself into and don't get blinded by just a Metacritic score. If you're like me and you prefer more action-heavy RPGs or games that are a little bit fast-paced, Baldurs Gate 3 might not be your cup of tea, but I think for the most part, most people that get into this game, they know what they're getting into. I'm not a D&D guy either, so obviously that element didn't really hit home with me. But $70 for Baldurs Gate 3, I think it's going to be a worthwhile experience for a lot of you guys, and even if you do pick up the Digital Deluxe Edition now, even at $80, like, you're going to get north of 100 hours of content with Baldurs Gate 3, and if you do multiple playthroughs, etc., you're going to get even more than that. So really, the ROI on this game for hours of entertainment is kind of ridiculous, and probably something a lot of you guys are going to appreciate. Moving on from that, I do want to highlight the free update that is coming out this week, and that is Sifu's final update. Yes, Sifu's been out for a year and a half, but credit to the development studio and Slowclap, they've been consistently updating the game, and now we have the final update with Sifu's final update dropping on September the 7th. It would be a good time to add this game to PlayStation Plus Extra as well with that price hike. Sifu would be a game that I think adds a little bit of value to Plus Extra. We'll see if that happens later this month. The Arenas mode expands its boundaries, unveiling more unseen locations and introducing ferocious battles against familiar goons, bosses, and unexpected faces with the addition of 6 dynamic areas, 75 thrilling challenges, an array of gripping modifiers and cheats, as well as film-inspired outfits. You can look forward to an adrenaline-fueled journey that'll push your martial arts skills to the limit. Brace yourself for encounters with zombie-like enemies, doppelgangers, and interactive environments that'll test your reflexes and strategic prowess like never before. Sifu again released in early 2022, and I think it was a game that shocked a lot of people given how high quality it was. It is an incredibly challenging game, a realistic third-person brawler with tight kung fu combat mechanics and cinematic martial arts action embarking you on a path for revenge. The game was done by Slowclap, the same studio that brought you Absolver, and Absolver was a game that was like a little mid to say the least, and it had some fundamentals that Sifu took and really refined them and turned out to be a great game with its emphasis on its combat. And now we have the final update for the game, and again, I think it would be a nice addition to Plus Extra. Sony, you can take that idea and throw Slowclap and Kepler some cash, and then get that going. I mean, the game was a timed exclusive on PlayStation after all initially, so why not go an extra mile and add the game to Plus Extra? I think timing-wise now would be a good time to do it. Moving on from that, we have Monochrome Mobius, Rights and Wrongs Forgotten, also dropping on September the 5th. A new JRPG from veteran studio Aqua Plus, commemorating 20 years of the multimedia series. This is the story of a man who will be sung about in legends. Now, the game has been out on PC for close to a year now, 534 user reviews, 80% positive. A game like this being $60, I think, is going to be the pushback that a lot of people are going to have with it. It's a lower budget JRPG. Like, let's just be honest, with the competition in JRPGs these days, this is one that from a visual standpoint isn't going to blow anybody away, but I still think it's going to be a game that hardcore fans are going to enjoy. A new JRPG from Aqua Plus and a deep roster of characters as well. I think overall, sometime down the line when the game does go on sale, it might be worth a buy, but $59.99 for this, I think, is gonna be pushing some people away, but definitely one to keep on your wish list. Next up, if you're into psychological horror games, Lempo is a game you want to have on your radar. Find your way back home before an otherworldly plane of existence consumes you. Lempo is a psychological horror game inspired by Finnish mythology with an emphasis on exploration as well. Ambiance-wise, it looks very engrossing, and again, that is the biggest element, in my opinion, when it comes to a horror game. The story of Lempo lies in a dark, fantastic world, a plane kept together with souls' energy received from living beings. This is no place for a human. Do not dilly-dally during your exploration. You're in a twisted realm where the laws of our world don't matter, or else you might encounter beings beyond the realm of possibilities. An immersive, psychological nightmare experience, a living nightmare with Lempo's shivering visual and sound atmosphere. Paul is unfortunately not daydreaming. To escape this uncanny forest, you'll have to face unspeakable events and beings beyond your imaginations and Lempo's mysteries as well. You won't need to fight to escape the forest, but you will have to decipher puzzles during your exploration, dig deep into the mysteries, and solve every puzzle you find. Lempo is due out on September the 7th. Next up, we have The Many Pieces of Mr. Q. The Many Pieces of Mr. Q is a whimsical point-and-click adventure with a surrealist story, astounding hand-drawn animations, and hilarious puzzles. Mr. Q is trapped and broken into pieces, but most of all, he has no idea of what's going on. Is that a giant chicken over there? Game is a quirky point-and-click adventure game, and The Many Pieces of Mr. Q will be out on September 7th. And lastly, we have Chants of Sennaar. Legend says that one day a traveler will reunite the peoples of the tower who are unable to communicate with each other, observe, listen, and decipher ancient languages in a fascinating universe inspired by the myth of Babel. Chants of Sennaar will be dropping on September 5th. Definitely a unique presentation style to this game. Off-the-wall art style and not something you typically see. A puzzle platformer here, again, out September 5th. And that is going to do it for me. Again, Baldurs Gate 3 definitely going to have the bulk of the attention this week. Well, a little game called Starfield is officially releasing on September the 6th as well. Kind of funny how both the major RPG releases on console, Baldurs Gate 3 and Starfield, are doing this early access gimmick. And guys, if this gimmick frustrates you, you guys are gonna have to come to accept it. More games are gonna do it. A little game called Lies of P is doing it later this month. Forza Motorsport is doing it next month. I wouldn't be all too surprised once Sony first party realizes, oh, we can make some money off of this, and games like Spider-Man 2 in the future. Not Spider-Man 2 in particular, but, the big first party titles are gonna feature that as well. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.